good evening, everyone. My name is Gulshan Memoria. I'm the CEO and the founder of Inspiredvalley. Recently, we have started this initiative called Inspired Valley Schools, under which, we've just started this initiative for the sole purpose of connecting the best minds in the academic world and brainstorming on some of the key topics that will ultimately add value and help the educational world fraternity to enrich themselves by listening to the new ideas and various suggestions. So let me introduce you to the today's panel. First, we have is Dr. Vandna Shahi. She is a national awardee and a senior principal at BCM School, Basant Avenue, Ludhiana. Second speaker we have is Miss Pratima Sinha. She is the Chief Executive Officer at DSR Educational Society, Hyderabad. Next we have is Mr. Pritam Kumar Agrawal. He is the founder of Hello Kids. Is one of the biggest chain of schools of preschools in India. It's more than 750 schools that we have. Next we have is Miss Shilpa Lokhande. She is the ex-principal of Dhanvallabh English High School, Mumbai. Next in line that we have is Miss Deepti Arora. She is the headmistress of Manav Rachna International School, Mayfield Gardens, Gurugram. Next we have is Mr. Vikaas Naagru. He is co-founder and director of Brain Infinity and is also one of the leading mind trainers in India. Next in line we have is Mr. Paresh Yadav. He is the co-founder and director of Sarbotech Education Private Limited. I welcome everyone on this panel. So let me start today's webinar by asking the very first question to Pratima ma'am. As we already know that happy classroom is the need of the time, and I'm sure that everyone is doing their bits. Recently, as the COVID have started and remote teaching and learning have made us think less about what we teach and even why, and more about how we teach. That's again a very critical question. So we just bought the idea of a joy or a happy classroom. So can you share some of your thoughts that how to bring the joy back to the classroom?
Oh, let me tell you, first of all, good evening, everybody. And I can see a fantastic line of panelists here today. But let me tell you that even during COVID, we tried to create a happy classroom for the children. Maybe it was online, but still, I think all the schools took up that mantle and they said, though it's that we cannot just let go of the education and learning objectives that we have already planned for, and some kind of online classes with the online field trips. And I know that many schools had online annual days and sports days and all sorts of festivals, celebrations of festivals which they had actually put down in their academic calendar. Now, once we have come back, of course, the happiness is always there when you interact
Exactly.
personally, physically.
Mm-hmm.
The teachers get to get connected with the students. A happy classroom for me. We just had a session in our preschools. One of our teachers had taken a session. Uh, I personally feel when the teacher has created or the school has created an environment of positivity, an environment of trust, an environment of safety, an environment of, you come to me and I'm there for you. That's where I would say, first of all, the happiness would begin for the child. I'm talking about right now as a preschool, where the child enters into the threshold of the school for the first time, right? So that trust factor, that happy environment, the positive vibes that the teachers can create, the environment can create, is the first and foremost thing for happiness.
Exactly.
Then, secondly, now we are talking about the learning to be more of child centered. We
Okay.
are talking about a pedagogy which is called as utagogy, where the child centric learning needs to happen. Children today are very smart. They know what they want to do. Even in senior classes, we have seen that, students are, they're very sure of what they want to do in life. And we have to give them that kind of platform to stand on their own, do their own learning, do the researching, finding out on their own. And that's when they get the freedom to learn on their own. And I think that will create that happy environment in the classroom and in the school, where the child feels confident to be a self learner. The child feels confident to talk about his learning to his parents and to his teachers. The child feels confidence to be self reflective about what he's doing. I think that creates an happy environment and vibes in the school.
That's again a
So
very
this
great
is what I
insights.
thought.
That's a great insight. Vanda ma'am, if you can share some of your views on this question, can you?
I totally agree with Pratima ma'am that it's basically about creating the environment, and that environment would definitely be created by the teachers. And it is said that happy teachers only would create the happy classroom. So, according to me, the teachers also, first of all, have to be happy. So our,
That's a great point.
these days there is so much on the YouTube channel how to be happy, and I mean even if we pick up just a few of them, so it is going to help a lot.
That's again that's Shilpa ma'am, are you there? Shilpa
Yes, sir.
ma'am, I would like
Yeah,
to
I'm there.
ask you your question. Can you please can say what are the different ways to make our classroom happy? Can you just list it down the ways? I'm short.
Yes,
I
yes,
mean,
yes.
yeah.
First of all, thank you all for giving me a chance to speak on such a beautiful topic and very important topic associated with education domain. So yes, believe me, classrooms have to be happy. There is no if, no but. Happy classroom doesn't need any definition. You can feel it just by looking at the body language of your children, their confidence, their involvement, and their happy and cheerful faces. If this is the scene in your classroom, we can just close our eyes and say, yes, I have a happy classroom. So, but making a class happy with 20, 30, 40 children is not easy. Teachers have to explore and add lot of efforts to make out their classroom happy. The first step here for teachers will be knowing about the background of their kids, their likes and dislikes, whether he is coming from a joint family where he has been over pampered, or a broken family where he might be neglected. There are so many things. You must know the strengths and weaknesses individually. Again, very important, you have to respect your child. You have to trust them. You also have to admire them. So, accept them as they are and love them. And this will come back to you. They will start respecting you, loving you, trusting you, and they will start studying. The communication link between you and your colleagues or your students will get established.
So
So,
knowing your child is the fundamental key
correct.
factor, I believe. Knowing
Correct.
you.
This is the first point. Then now I will tell you some of the important ways to develop the culture of happy classrooms. I have jotted down one by one. First, I can say teachers are vital component in students' learning, because while today's learners enter the classroom more well informed than past generations, we can say, whereas many struggles or when they are asked to read or think critically, here teachers can design activities both online and can design face-to-face activities that will help students use critical thinking tools and develop their unique gifts. This combination of online and face to face learning is referred to as blended learning. So, a style of learning that has become a rapidly growing movement in the K 12 world children. They need to learn how to be contributing members of a community, and that happens best when students come to school each day and participate in a classroom community. So, through active learning in a positive classroom community, students can increase their specific skills. The four C's, I can say, in the modern
I believe
technology.
there are a
That
lot of things. Just a
yeah,
second,
yeah, yeah.
Shilpa ma'am. There are
Yes,
a lot of
yes.
things.
Collaboration, communication. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Yeah, continue.
one counter question to all the panelists from my side, because being a trainer, when I go to deliver the training, and when I say that you
Correct.
have to, especially for the teachers, right?
Mhm.
Then you have to do these things. So one teacher asked me, sir, you're asking me to do a lot of things in the other than the teaching thing, right? So how can I integrate everything in just 40 minutes? This is my question, and I'm sure, being the panelists like Pratima ma'am, Vandna ma'am, Tripti ma'am, I shall have my answer. So anyone who would like to, you can say, you have this option called raising your hand on your laptop. I mean, if you can see.
Yes.
So first of all, I'll have the response from any of the principal. Then I'll have the response from Vikaas sir. Anyone. How to manage that? I mean, how to bring that happiness in just 40 minutes or 35 minutes?
So should I?
Yeah, please, Vandana ma'am.
Yeah, I would like to say, like, it's not like only in those 40 minutes everything would be done.
Exactly.
Basically, we have to integrate the happiness in the curriculum itself. It's not like we are going to think about it, and that is the only time when we have to do it. If there is a prior planning, as I said, that teachers, they have to set their magnet right. If it is right initially, so everything, they're going to attract the right things only. And it's not more than, I would say, the tangible things. More than that, it's like mindscaping is more important than landscaping. That's what I would say, like, about the teacher herself and about the students also. And you can give whatever you have. That's what I think. It's not only that 40 minute.
That's
Teacher has
that's
to work, all the time.
I've got a good point. Mindscaping then landscaping thing. Pritima ma'am, please.
Yeah, what I would like to add on is, when we bring in integration of art and culture
Okay.
into our curriculum, you see, I've just written an article on aesthetic literacy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, where now even CBS is actually talking about sports being a very integral part of the curriculum, life skills being again a very integral part of the curriculum, aesthetic literacy also being integral. So when we bring in these aspects to the curriculum, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure that happiness level in the classroom will rise. It's not just talk and chalk and whatever method we call it. It's not just that, and I'm repeating myself when I say that when we give the option to the child to learn on his own,
Hmm.
that is actually very, very important. And according to me, it will bring in that kind of happiness into the classroom. Now, we are not talking about happiness is all the time, they're having good time. We are also, the learning objective is also right in front of me. But how do I reach that learning objective in a happy way? That is what is important. So, according to me, integration of culture, art, whether it is visual art or performing arts or theater or sports activities into the curriculum is again
It's very
being
important to bring that
brought
happiness. So
into the class.
even happiness is not just one day phenomena. It's a continuous thing. Yeah, Tripti ma'am, you have raised your hand. Please
It needs to
summarize
be
in next.
sustainable. It needs to be sustainable.
Exactly.
Actually, you just asked that how can in 40 minutes everything is possible.
Now I'm
So
not asking. That teacher asked me.
yes, the teacher asked you. So I just would like to reply that it is all about like setting the tone for that particular day and creating the environment in the class to increase inquisitiveness, curiosity in the children, and to make them more connected with the teacher herself, so that students can learn very well in a proper manner, because balance is very, very much required. So teacher has to come up in a classroom with a complete plan, that how much time she is going to devote in an activity, how much time she is going to interact with the children, how much time she will be giving it in delivering the concept, and how much time she will be giving it to the students to come up with their issues.
So planning is a crucial factor. I
That
mean, in the
planning is
initial
very
stage.
Yeah, planning
Later
is
on,
crucial, excuse me, but flexibility is also important.
flexibility.
In junior classes, if the teacher comes into the class and, shares a joke with the children, just that 2 minutes of that laughter in the classroom will set the tone. and the teachers can take over the class
True.
immediately.
That's
So these are,
that's
small things that can create the happiness
so at
quotient in the
one
classroom.
side is planning, one side is flexibility, and again the teachers need to identify then which factor has to follow. So not all
Yes.
the time that planning will, I mean, will be your the key area, not every time the flexibility. So you need to be balanced between these two areas. Pritam sir, would like to have your views on this happy classrooms. I mean, being the founder of one of the biggest chain of schools in India, I'm sure, I mean, your point of view does matter in this area. So according to you, I mean, what do
I
we?
hope
Yes,
I hope that my teacher must have listened to this word 35 years ago.
please
Happy
share your
classroom.
views of happy classroom in the preschool setup.
Yes. So trust me, happy classroom is good to listen. And as I said, I as a student must have got this opportunity. See, friends, as Pratima madam said, even learning, the child will learn themselves. Even Ravindranath Tagore has said the same thing. We don't need to teach the child, we have to create an environment.
Hmm.
So that environment, if it's happy, it's anyway we are building a lot of physical and tangible things for the children. But the things which we are talking about is intangible, right? Where we are talking about a happiness quotient, where I believe that the training is must for the teacher who is handling these young children. Young is, yes, young for any age groups, right? And as all the co-panelists has definitely said, right tune to understand this happiness. And when we are working with small such young minds, one
Hmm.
and a half, 2 years, 3 years, where there is no communication at all. Let's talk about some a child who is coming to a preschool at 1.5, 2 years, and they are just coming to a new faith, new world, new person altogether, where safety is a major role.
Hmm.
You are leaving my child with you, and the child is thinking, yeah, uncle kaun hai, ye auntie kaun hai, and who is this teacher and caretakers, how they are going to take care of me, right? So there we say that relationship matters, language matters. When we are talking about, when a child is coming at 1.5, 2 years, and you are starting speaking to them in English, it doesn't have that belongingness. It doesn't talks about that relationships also. So from that understanding that child, some one of the co-panelists said that understanding the child is also important, right? And yes, we need to have that planning, we need to have that flexibility. But let me give you some 2 3 points which is very very important for me when I am thinking as a teacher.
Please.
Am I happy? Am I happy is what I need to understand as a teacher first. If I am not at all, I am not happy, I'm not able to go and make my class happy in any way. It can be my family pressure, it can be my management pressure, it can be my state of mind. But yes, being as a teacher, I have to have a preparation that I am going back to my classroom, and my classroom is my world first. So for that, that passionate, what do you call as that what do you call as commitment is required from the teacher side, right? At least for that 40 minutes, at least for that 4 hours or 6 hours into a school, it is me and me for that particular child. Because trust me, when a teacher is not, these teachers are physically present. When teacher is not physically mentally not present in the class, the kids of 1.5, 2, 3, 4 years are like orphans in the classrooms. Trust me, even the teacher misses one day of school in preschool, they're like orphans in schools. They are really searching for their teachers. And teachers, whatever they say, this is the red line and they will never cross that. So they are waiting for that minds. So when a child is having so much of trust, they have so much of relationship, it is what we need to have that commitment.
Just to add on your point, that's why I believe that's a reason the teachers of the preschool called mother teachers.
100%. We
Right.
are more than the parents and mothers and fathers nowadays. A child spend 8 to 12 hours in a preschool and daycare than a parents who are only taking care of the breakfast and the before sleeping
Mainly
hours for
the
the
active
children.
hours of his or
Yes,
her time.
yes.
Shalok sir, can we have the other points later on? Because I would love to have make it more interactive. Vikas sir, please, I would you can say request you first introduce yourself. I mean the kind of services that you're providing in the educational world. It's always better, and then please.
Yeah, thank you, Gulshan ji. Friends, my name is Vikaas Naagru, and I'm working on a mission. By the name of mission is stating Mission Safai. Safai stands for Stress Anxiety Free All India, and by God grace, I am able to help approx 21,000 lives and associated with very good corporates and with schools and colleges. The main thing is जिस पे हम दो जगह पे काम कर रहे हैं. To know yourself, brain mapping test, and how to get a stress-free education, how to enhance your brain within a 1 minute. That is our USP. वो उसी पे हमारा मेन काम वही है. तो अभी इसी क्वेश्चन पे आ जाता हूँ कृष्ण जी, जो आपने पूछा
हैप्पी टीचर्स वाला.
मैं 40 मिनट्स को पहले मैं एलोबरेट करना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि ये क्वेश्चन बहुत बार आता है. एक्चुअल में 40 मिनट्स तो है ही नहीं वो. Let's understand the 40 minute scenario. 40 minutes means every teacher need approx 5 to 7 minutes to address the class. उनको assignment उनको arrange करने में उनको 5 to 7 minutes लगते हैं हर टीचर को. हर टीचर को only 18 to 20 minutes ही मिलते हैं पढ़ाने के लिए. ठीक है, जो बाकी जो टाइम बच गया हमारे पास, उस टाइम के अंदर या तो क्वेश्चन आंसर ले रहे होते हैं, या वो टॉक में होते हैं, या वो बहुत सारी क्वेरीज, या फिर वो कुछ ऐसा स्कूल मैनेजमेंट वर्क कर रहे होते हैं, कॉपी चेक, बहुत सारे काम होते हैं उनके पास. तो 18 मिनट्स हैं, आप 40 मिनट्स तो कहिए मत उसको प्लीज, है ना. तो 18 मिनट्स में अब प्रॉब्लम एरिया क्या है, हमारे यहाँ पर वॉमिट कल्चर है. पहले बच्चे को पढ़ा दो, उसको एग्जाम में जाके वॉमिट करना है. ये स्टार्ट कहाँ से हुआ? वो टीचर से शुरू हुआ. Why I am saying it, टीचर भी वैसा का वैसा प्रिपेयर करके आ रहा है, उसने 18 मिनट में 20 मिनट में अपना वॉमिट कर दिया, वैसा बच्चों ने ले लिया. इट्स ऑलरेडी स्टिंकिंग प्रोसेस. Why? इसलिए है क्योंकि क्या टीचर ने उसको उस एम्बियंस को क्रिएट करके दिया कि मैं आ रहा हूं, मैं आपको मैथ्स पढ़ाने वाला हूं, मैं आपको साइंस पढ़ाने वाला हूं, मैं आपको फिजिक्स पढ़ाने वाला हूं, केमिस्ट्री पढ़ाने वाला हूं. वो एम्बियंस क्रिएट किया. सेम लाइक अभी सर बोल रहे थे, एम्बियंस क्रिएट किया जाता है मदर टीचर वाले कंसेप्ट में. उसके बाद कुछ और सिखाया जाता है. ए फॉर एप्पल सिखाने के लिए उससे पहले एम्बियंस क्रिएट किया. तो वो 9th 10th 11th 12th में ऐसा क्या होगा कि एम्बियंस को क्रिएट करने की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है. उससे पहले ब्रेन की वार्म अप एक्सरसाइज करवाई आपने, ब्रेन को एक्टिवेट किया, ब्रेन को एक्टिव किया, सीधा आके पढ़ाने लगे. दैट्स व्हाई. और इसलिए एक्चुअली में हो भी यही रहा है, हर क्लास के अंदर लगभग 5% स्टूडेंट ही हैं जो बहुत एक्स्ट्रा स्मार्ट होते हैं. तो उनकी वजह से क्या होता है कि रिजल्ट थोड़ा सा अबव एवरेज चला जाता है. अदरवाइज तो पेनफुल है 72% जो स्टूडेंट एवरेज है उनके लिए. तो जो एम्बियंस ही क्रिएट नहीं किया, ना तो टीचर को मजा आने वाला है, ना ही तो स्टूडेंट को मजा आने वाला है. तो वो 40 मिनट्स का पीरियड एक्चुअली है ही नहीं, वो 18 मिनट्स का है. तो वो जब तक वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ, उसका बेस्ट एग्जांपल सीखने का ये है, गो टू प्री प्राइमरी स्कूल, किंडरगार्टन स्कूल, वहां चले जाओ, वहां से समझ में आ जाएगा बच्चों को पढ़ाना क्या है. एंड द सेकंड थिंग, एंड यू प्लेइंग हैप्पी क्लासरूम, व्हाट डज इट मींस?
मतलब ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है. मतलब मैं इसलिए भी आपसे जानना चाह रहा था, हैप्पीनेस जो है ना बहुत एक वेग कॉन्सेप्ट है. अगर हम बहुत सिंपल टर्म्स में बात करें, जैसे आज हमारे लिए ये कॉन्सेप्ट है कि हमें एक वेबिनार में बैठना है, तो कभी कभार वेबिनार में बैठने का ही देख के, जैसे लास्ट एक वेबिनार में एक स्पीकर आए, तो पूरे टाइम जो वो बैठे रहे उनको देखकर मुझे परेशानी होगी. मैं क्या यार, मैंने गलती से इन्हें बुला लिया. तो वेबिनार का मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि यार जो मुझे लगता है कि लाइक आई विल आस्क द क्वेश्चन देन यू विल गिव मी द रिस्पॉन्स. Whenever if you feel like you share your response and at least have some happiness that we're going to spend next 1 hour together. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि 1 घंटे के बाद में लगे कि यार कुछ बोझ है, नहीं. So
दीप्ति मैम एंटर किए थे, तो जो हम कहाँ बैठे हैं, दीप्ति मैम से मिले नहीं हम कभी. वो वहाँ कहाँ गुड़गांव, आप कहीं और, सर कहीं और बैठे हैं, परेश जी कहीं और बैठे हैं, मैम लुधियाना से. हर अलग अलग वो आते ही एकदम आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, उनकी एनर्जी एकदम वो दिख रही थी सबको वेबिनार. तो उसमें ये तो कोई रोल ही नहीं था कि हम फिजिकली के मिलते ना, वो वेबिनार में भी दिख रही है. तो अलाइवनेस तो अब ये टीचर में अगर फिजिकल नहीं है तो ऑनलाइन तो भूल ही जाइए. फिजिकल नहीं है तो सर का क्वेश्चन बहुत सही था, क्या टीचर इज हैप्पी? क्या टीचर खुद खुश है? क्या वो खुद खुश नहीं है? तो वही है, व्हाट इज हैप्पीनेस. एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम क्या है, सैडनेस इज एब्सेंस ऑफ हैप्पीनेस. एक्चुअली द सेम विद द सनलाइट एंड डार्कनेस. सैडनेस के लिए आपका एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट नहीं लगाना, सैडनेस तो है ऑलरेडी. तो हैप्पीनेस के लिए एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट लगाना है. तो एम आई रेडी टू लर्न हैप्पीनेस? तो वो तो है ही नहीं ना. लेट मी शेयर अ वेरी 30 seconds स्मॉल
प्लीज
वर्कशॉप था कल वर्कशॉप था मेरा एक कॉलेज के अंदर, बहुत रिनाउंड कॉलेज है, वहां पर एक बच्चा ऑलमोस्ट पूरा ब्रोकन था, उसका हाथ में, चेहरे पे, हर जगह चोटें थी, लेकिन नॉलेज बहुत थी, और उसका एक ही कंसेप्ट था कि आप जो भी बोलने वाले हो वो मुझे पता है, दैट्स इट. तो ही इज नॉट इन द इन स्टेट ऑफ माइंड कि मेरे को ये सीखना है कुछ. तो जब उसके बाद खत्म हुआ तो मेरे पास आया कि सर मैं एक्चुअली मैं आपको तंग नहीं करना चाह रहा था, लेकिन मैं बता रहा था कि मुझे आता है. मैं कहा वो तो कोई बात नहीं है, सेशन हो गया, इट्स ओके, हमें मिलते रहते हैं ऐसे ऑडियंस. ये हुआ क्या है, वो इतने खुश होकर बता रहा था, आई एम ए सेल्फ डिस्ट्रक्टिव पर्सन, मैंने अपने आप को चोटें पहुंचाई हैं. और ये वो अकेला नहीं था, आप अपनी सोसाइटी पे चेक कर लीजिए, लड़ाई के अंदर, टीचर के अंदर, या कोई भी XYZ पर्सन होगा, वो अपने आप को सेल्फ डिस्ट्रक्टिव कैसे बुरा मान गया, घर से लड़ाई करके आया, और स्कूल में आया हुआ है, खाना नहीं खाएगा, एग्रेशन में होगा, आके स्कूल बच्चों को पढ़ाएगा, वही मोड चलेगा. से बहुत सारी ऐसी चीजें हैं. तो हैप्पीनेस के लिए एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट लगता है, सैडनेस के लिए नहीं लगता.
चलिए, that's again a great point. So let me come back to the flow of the webinar. Let me ask the next question. So next speaker that we have is Miss Tripti. So let me again reintroduce Tripti ma'am. She is the headmistress of Manav Rachna International School, Mayfield Garden, Gurugram. So again, both Deepti ma'am and Tripti ma'am are from the same school. Tripti ma'am, your question is, you can say, happy classroom is every teacher's dream, right? It's not even a second view about this. So, and this can be achieved without compromising the academic results and the personal growth of the students. So how can a teacher can find a balance between the happiness and the learning? Because it's a very hard to achieve thing. Learning भी achieve करना है, and then happiness भी achieve करनी है, and together we need to form a very good academic results. Because at the end of the year, we need to prove that thing that everybody is at par.
Everything in life, Gulshan, has to have balance. It is not something you find, it is something to create actually. So these days, I can say that as a teacher, the idea of creating a happy classroom is normally at the top of our agenda. It's not only about early years, it's even about primary, middle, and senior wing. Everywhere we can see that. So, creating a happy classroom is not just about seeing your students smiling every day. It's about developing an environment that looks after the whole child and helps them build strategies to learn conceptually and practically. So everybody has discussed these things also. And being educators, we are not there to entertain students all the time by creating the happy classrooms. We are here to develop their interest in various learning areas, be it academics, performing arts, visual arts, life skills, sports and well-being. It can be any area. So, no doubt that when the students are happy, they are better able to solve problems. They are more open to critical thought and reasoning. So, to create a balance between playful and result-oriented learning, the
Hmm.
first thing I would like to share is that we need to make things relatable. So instead of just talking about theories and connect the concepts with the things, just to see in their present environment, so that they can understand it practically. We have to talk more about the things which they can see in their environment, and they will be able to retain it for a longer period of time. It will
Okay.
help them in developing their interest for the concepts, and they study which whatever concepts they study in their books. For example, here I just would like to give an example of the Karan Johar's movie. So if you see that earlier people love to see Karan Johar's movie a lot, and but nowadays we all love watching web series which are more connected with our day-to-day life.
There's no
So the
more कुछ
same
कुछ होता है
happens.
anymore.
Yes, because even if you see the student of the year response, the first student of the year when it was released, it was a big hit. But the second student of the year, which was released a few months back or the year back, it didn't give that much results. So it happens because now the people are looking forward. Even the students also look forward to the things which they can connect it with their real life. So we have to make things
That's a
relatable for
very
them.
interesting point, Dipti ma'am. बहुत अच्छा point आपने
Yes.
कहा है. Just let me come back again. Let me come back to you and stating one more question, which
Sure.
is in my mind when we conduct this career guidance program, especially because as Vikaas sir ने भी बात कही थी ये, in every classroom, for an example, there are 35 students. So not everyone is apt for IIT or everyone is apt for AIMS, right? And not everybody is at par with above 90 or 95%. So a lot of students, those who are below average or just average students. So we need to be talk about some more practical ideas, isn't it? कि भाई आपके लिए भी बहुत सारे career options हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. So instead of, because if we all time praising the 95 wala percent or 90 wala or the super achievers, so they'll be not be happy so much कि हाँ यार I don't have any options for me. So any speaker, Vandna ma'am, Pratima ma'am, Shilpa ma'am, can you please share your views on this? And how can we shift that happiness? I mean, according to that 35 students हैं, 90 वाले 5 हैं. So how we can create that happiness? Shlok sir, you wanted to add your point, please. Sorry, Pritam sir, you have mentioned. I'm very sorry.
No, this was required to me also as a student, as a backbencher. How much time my teachers has given it to me is very, very important, right? I have understood the topic or not. Coming to from a teacher side is more important than coming to a teacher with my marks at the end of the year, right? So that is how we need to understand every child is. Yes, as we all said that 5% are children, those who are bringing the best of results for the school. Similarly, little extra efforts to that bottom 5-10% of children is very, very important. What is that? If let me say I'm the children, I was at the last bench, and if it comes from my dear teacher that Pritam, what is that it's stopping you to understand this? It may not be today. And if you have the teachers are understood that Pritam is never understand, definitely I'm not going to understand.
This happens with me when we had that mathematics class in 10th standard.
Yes.
It was my class also. It was my class also, and most of them, those who have really not performed, that has been because of this reason. So little extra effort to them is very, very important. And trust me, nobody can do better than my class teachers or teachers, those who have studied in my initial years of career, right? So that extra support is required to that bottom 5-10% of children to understand. And trust me, when I am going to tuition for that particular subject, even my parents are going to take care of that particular subject, it will not enter to my mind if that Deepti madam or Vandana madam should have been initiated me as a student, I should have learned from them.
So let me summarize this thing because it's actually connected with me. कभी कभी ज़रूरी नहीं कि हर बार सोल्यूशन देना है, कभी कभी साथ में बैठना भी ज़रूरी है.
I would like to say something here, Gulshan. Very rightly said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam that nation's best brains you will often find at the backbenches of the classroom. So it is very right, and I think that that connect which the teacher can make it with the students. She is the one who can make every child feel that yes, they are being valued in the class. They have a stand.
Being valued is the point.
They can say, the teacher has to encourage their voice and what choice they would like to go for. That's the very important role for a teacher, to engage every class and give them importance. Everybody may not be a 90 or 95%er, but there may be a very good speaker, a very good dancer, a very good singer.
And moreover, Diti ma'am, we have moved from that point. I mean, in this current century or current generation,
Yes.
I mean, this is not required. Even 90% is not required. There are many other options. Pratima ma'am, please.
Many other options. I would say that, people, the students of grade 10th, they are more moving towards humanities rather than PCM and PCB.
Exactly.
I could see that the seats are getting full for humanities. Why? Because art and culture and all these, even after, the CBSE board now, they're coming up with the entrance test and getting the admission in the universities. And I have seen that the group which is for the humanities are getting recognized a lot, and PCM, PCB is taking a back seat. So it is not always a 90%er or 95%er. Yes, you have to make a connect with the students where the child has
That
to
connection
feel that
is something which is required. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your point. Before I come to Pratima ma'am, let's go to Paresh sir. So Paresh sir, please first of all introduce yourself and let me tell the other panelists that Paresh sir company Sarbotech is doing wonderful job in the educational world. Please tell us more about your company and how that point is relevant to this topic, please.
Sure, Gulshanji. So, primarily, let me tell you all, good evening, everyone, first of all. Prime, let me tell you all in terms of what is it that we do across as an organization. Surbotech, my name is Paresh, and my organization's name is Surbotech. So Surbotech basically we work into the areas of mental wellness, self improvement, and cognitive skills. So at this point of time, the most important aspect is how are we measuring cognitive skills? Is there any way in which we can measure cognitive skills? The first
Hmm.
thing that comes to everyone's mind is no, there's no way of measuring a concentration or a memory. Probably, there are certain methodologies like we use psychometric tests and all to measure all the skills.
Hmm.
But can we go a little step further and can we try and basically bring in technologies, the modern neurocognitive technologies, which are being utilized across the world? That's what we basically do across in our organization. So we are a technology organization. Basically, we have researched and developed certain programs in which we ensure that the brain-computer interface technology, which we call it as BCI, the brain, the computer interface technology. So how can you integrate the brain with the computers? So how can you acquire what is happening in the brain, transfer it to the computer, right? And after transferring it to the computer, try and evaluate those brain waves that are there across. After evaluating those brain waves, we can generate a report. So let me give an example to you all. So at this point of time, everyone is listening to me. So while you all are listening to me, everyone is basically trying and focusing, trying and remember, going back into their memories and trying and relating those words across to certain parts, certain things that they would have heard across. So they're trying to tingle around with the memories, and these memories are nothing but memory cells or neurons in the brain. Now the connectivity between neurons that is getting formed across because of your thought process at this point of time creates some minor current in the brain or minor waves in the brain, and these waves are called as brain waves. So what we do is we use the brain computer interface technology, or in short BCI, acquire these brain waves, transfer them to the computer. The alpha, beta, gamma, delta, theta brainwaves are transferred to the computer, and from that we generate. So while the children are doing certain activities, we generate a report. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 to 100, I can tell in terms of what is the child's concentration level, say 30, 40, what is the child's memory level, problem solving skills, how's the child's stress level, depression level, the self confidence. So the various aspects of children are being put across, and after that, after generating a report, there is a complete proper program which is completely online. Through that program, the child's cognitive skills are enhanced,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
mental
Hmm. Hmm.
wellness levels are enhanced. The sleep patterns are getting better, and after that, we again remeasure in terms of what are the new levels of cognitive skills, and we give a comparison report. That's basically what we do across as an organization.
It's wonderful.
And at this point of time, a lot of schools have started connecting with us, and we have started providing our programs to multiple schools out in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and all. So coming to this aspect, to today's topic, what is there in who all are there in the classroom? There's a teacher, there is a below average student, there is an above average student, and there's an average student. Now, everybody, let us look at it in a different manner, right? Now, happiness, like Vikas rightly said, other part of happiness is nothing but worry and unhappiness.
The happiness now. Yeah.
What makes somebody scoring less than 60% worried? The percentage. Because the Indian society is still basically revolving around that academic performance is a way of evaluating any child. That's where the Indian society is still moving on. We are evolving, but maybe 10 years down the line things will be very different. At this point of time, we still are into that phase of like. So 40 to 60%, somebody scoring for 40%, 60% is worried, unhappy, feeling being left out of the entire, saying that I'm not scoring to that level, and that's the reason why I'm basically unhappy. At the same time, somebody scoring 85 or 90% is worried because he has to maintain that ranking, 90% ranking. So there is a certain performance stress that is getting built up into the
Hmm.
child, because there's a pressure of maintaining the 90%. I have to go and qualify for J's, I have to go and qualify needs and everything. So that is basically another part of and
So
somebody
in
between wants to go to the next level. So basically, if we try and address these issues, if we try and measure, if we try and ensure that the mental wellness is created, give that confidence level to the child. How that confidence level can come in? Just by ensuring, just by
So in
ensuring.
nutshell, Paresh, sir, can I summarize this thing? I mean, the report and the technology that you have built in, it gives us more understanding for a child to understand themselves. Because अभी
Absolutely.
बहुत टाइम ऐसा होता है कि हमको खुद के बारे में ही नहीं पता.
बिल्कुल सही है.
right? So not
So
the
that
percentage, not the results it's actually telling me, but a lot of things that I should know about myself. So that will help me in the long run as well as in the short run, right?
true. And Gulshanji, this particular evaluation, into my self evaluation improvement is only going to make my 40% 70%, and it's only going to reduce the performance stress behind the 90%. So that's the basic purpose of this entire program.
Of course, yes, of course, yes. Pratima ma'am, I'm coming back to you. Please share your views, please.
No, I've forgotten what I was going to share
अच्छा, एक चीज आपने
because
सही कही थी परेश
Paresh
सर.
was so intense.
परेश सर जब कुछ बात बता रहे थे ना तो सब लोग बड़ा ध्यान से सुन रहे थे, और मैंने
That's
ऑब्जर्व
right.
किया कुछ देर तक तो ध्यान से सुना, और कुछ देर बाद में सब लोग
No, no. What I was going to say was when we were talking about, backbenchers and all. I mean, I've met so many of our alumni, who are doing extremely well in their lives today. And I feel guilty today when I remember calling these parents of these children to my classroom and telling them that your child is not up to the mark. Uh, I'm talking about a very old ICSE school where we used to call the parents and tell them your child has got 75% marks and your child is not up to the mark. So please put him in a state board school. Today, I feel so guilty about the fact that I was part of that system where we used to, ask the parents, ask the children to move out of the school because they were not able to cope up with the academics. Now, those children today, when I meet them, they connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook, and they're doing extremely well across the world. I feel so proud. And that's where it hits me very hard that, why didn't I understand my students at that point of time? Why am I understanding them today? So that is actually, when we talk to our teachers, when we ask the heads of schools, we need to give this point and inform this point to all teachers that whether a backbencher or a front bencher, nowadays the job profiles are changing super fast. What the job profiles,
that's
you're into career counseling, right?
yes,
What
yes,
job
yes.
profiles are present today, in another 20 years, I'm sure they will not be there. There'll be something else, something new
World
job
is
profile
changing
that
like
will
anything,
come.
Pratima ma'am. World
So
is changing.
our children have to be prepared for that. And
Exactly.
again, I would go back to it that if I give my child that kind of freedom and confidence to stand on his own feet, tomorrow he will be a very, very confident learner and also will be able to take on any challenges in his life. So this point I wanted to make, that
It's a wonderful
today,
point that you have made.
this time I feel guilty about the fact that yes, he was so much deep into the old school of thought.
Exactly. And moreover, confidence is not a tangible thing, it's an experience.
Yes.
And the person has to experience, has to go in with the process. Yeah, Vandana ma'am, you have raised your hand. You wanted to add your point. You wanted to.
Yeah, in fact, when you asked the question to Tripti, which was about learning and happiness, which one to be compromised, how can both the things go together? I just wanted to say that actually learning is directly proportional to happiness, and the Finland's education system has already proved it. Because on happiness index also, if you see, it is at the top. Education system, that is also at the top. So it's not like once again I would say creating happiness, doing efforts for creating happiness every day, which is not required. It's basically just make your students excited about learning. Like many of you have talked about the ownership. We are producing a generation, do as directed generation. We used to have in our times, like आपको बोल दिया आपको ऐसा ही करना है, vomiting out somebody
Exactly.
talked about that. So that thinking has completely gone, that ownership has completely gone. So where would they enjoy? That enjoyment is not there. So if those small little things are added, which is not going there would be no compromise to academics. Rather, I think their academic performance would also be better if they are feeling happy, if they are feeling valued, as Deepti has also talked about that. That's what I just wanted to say.
It's a wonderful point that learning is directly proportional to happiness. It's a marvelous point that you have
And I
added.
also want to add on, I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
but
please, Pratima ma'am.
I don't agree with the mother teacher concept.
Okay.
Why?
No, no,
Yeah, even
this is
I
not
don't
my
agree.
concept.
Yeah, because if we tell the teacher that your mother in school, the parent will give away that kind of responsibility also
Hmm.
on the teacher.
No, I have
See,
heard this thing over the
that
period of time.
concept
You know,
of
this is the
mother
mother
teacher,
teacher. That's why I
yeah.
said.
As Preetham said, that they leave the child in the school and then they forget about the child. I think somewhere we need to bring in the parents also, make them feel the responsibility also. If we give all the response, I think we're asking too much from the teacher.
Hmm.
When we tell her that, you are the mother teacher, you are responsible and those kind of things. Somewhere I feel that we are giving too much responsibility to the teacher and maybe she will not be able to handle that kind of thing.
Ma'am, this
Bring in the parents, associate with the parent, and share the responsibility.
Ma'am, this
I
transition
would
has
say
happened. I mean, as you've said, rightly said, a lot of responsibility has been, the complete onus is on the teacher's shoulder right now. And this happened the past 10 to 15 years. The parents, they expect a lot, I mean, from the teacher's side. Shilpa ma'am, you've raised your hand. You wanted to add your point,
Yeah,
please.
I want to add one more point to Pratima ma'am and Vandana ma'am. Actually, when we will move on from I do to we do, then only the other culture will develop. Like students will take the responsibilities. So you can just do it by reinforcing flipped mini lessons. Flipped
So
mini
this
lessons
I
or
do
audio
and then we do
visual.
is talking about from the student side from the or the teacher side.
Yeah, it is from the teacher's side first. It will come from the teacher's side, but students will participate in it as a peer tutoring. So this
Hmm.
concept can be established. Peer tutoring helps many schools a lot because they can reinforce so many concepts in the students. Because I do agree that 90% understanding is done established when it is I teach,
Hmm.
and 10% only when I learn. So we have to inculcate that habit, like I teach.
That's a
So
good
you can make
concept.
the pairs, like sitting pairs, or sitting two opposite groups, and you can just make them work as a teacher.
The
So
lot
in
can be
this
done
you
around
can,
that strategy.
a lot can be done, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just instruct them about the topic, and one student will move from north to south, and he will act as a teacher and you will take his place. So but
5 years
initially the
before,
first,
let me add to this point.
yeah,
Five to
yeah,
six
please,
years
please.
before, I'm sure that everyone in this panel must have seen that there was a small clip was floating around the YouTube, class of rowdies.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Vandna ma'am.
I have seen that. I
ना
have seen
वो
that.
उसमें भी ये सेम कॉन्सेप्ट द क्लास ऑफ 20 एंड द क्लास वाज badly had the bad impression around the school, the class of rowdies, and then the new teacher, the biology teacher came in, the new teacher, and then he asked everyone to do or share your experience or do teach anything that you would like to teach to everyone.
Correct.
So it's
Yes,
like a
yes,
weekly
yes.
thing. Yeah, Tripti ma'am, you wanted to add your point, please. Tripti ma'am, can you hear me? Okay, her screen got froze. Yeah, Dipti miss, please.
So I just wanted to say that the scenario before pandemic and after pandemic is absolutely different. Before pandemic, the needs were very different. After pandemic, I think every day we need to change our strategy because children are becoming so. I mean, I would say that they know much more. They are 110% ahead of us. So
Hmm.
they get bored when you are just with a kind of a strategy which is very common in the school, in the classes. So we have to go with a very different kind of strategies every day. So for that, teachers even has to, the teachers have to change themselves a lot. They have to go with the flip teaching method, which I'm very sure that the latest pedagogies which we apply during pandemic time as well and after pandemic as well, where
Correct.
the child is taking onus of whatever the child is teaching on her own, on his own. And when they take owners of anything, I can see that they achieve the academic goals much faster because they feel that they are valued, they feel that they are responsible for their own actions, or they would like to even go for collaborative approach, wherein like Shilpa ma'am said that yes, we can go even with the peer grouping where the children are teaching, or they come up with any group setting, or they. So I think we need to keep changing our strategies. Four C's is a very I think in the last webinar also we were talking about four C's, which rapidly changing and converting into six C's now, and you never
Then
know,
8
in the
C's, then
next
12
times
C's.
coming it will convert into
Yes,
eight
yes,
C's also. Yes.
yes.
जितना भी अभी तक का ट्रेनिंग हुआ है या जितना भी अभी तक का जो भी एक्सपीरियंस रहा है उसमें ये चीज़ लाइक यू हैव राइटली सेड दैट वी नीड टू लाइक द टीचर्स नीड टू ऐड अ लॉट ऑफ कैन से वैल्यू टू देयर कंटेंट एंड नाउ एज द वर्ल्ड इज चेंजिंग आई मीन मूविंग रैपिडली वेरी फास्ट दे हैव टू लर्न अ लॉट because currently the current generation teachers, I mean, they are teaching generation Z, Gen Z also, and the Gen X also, I believe, right? So the millennials no more. So Gen Z's problems are different than the millennials, and a lot of teachers are baby boomers also, that's above 50 or above 55. So their challenges were different, the current generation. So this area then we need to be focused upon. Yeah, Vikaas, sir, you have raised your hand. Please.
यस सर, एक्चुअली ये जो हैप्पीनेस वाला जो फैक्टर है ना, ये स्कूल एजुकेशन का जो फंडामेंट है वो मुझे लगता है बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए. व्हाई वी आर इनटू स्कूल एजुकेशन, व्हाई वी मतलब डोमिनोज इफेक्ट अगर सबको याद हो, छोटा सा डोमिनोज एक बहुत बड़ा, हर्ड अबाउट डोमिनोज इफेक्ट, जो अपने ब्लॉक्स ब्लॉक होता है वो बड़े से बड़े ब्लॉक को गिरा सकता है. यानी कि एक टीचर का या एक पेरेंट का या किसी का भी एक एक्शन किस अकॉर्डिंग है, किस इंटेंट के साथ है और किस लिए है, अगर उसका इंटेंशन ही क्लियर नहीं है, यानी कि उसके पास क्लैरिटी नहीं है, व्हाई आई एम टीचिंग और व्हाई आई एम अ पेरेंट और व्हाई आई एम रनिंग अ स्कूल, तो ऑब्वियसली उसके कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस हम देख रहे हैं. लाइक व्हाट, इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट हैप्पीनेस बॉस, इट्स ऑल इट्स वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द हेल्दी लाइफ आल्सो. एक आपका स्कूल का एनवायरनमेंट बहुत कुछ क्रिएट कर सकता है, एक घर का एनवायरनमेंट बहुत कुछ क्रिएट कर सकता है. दैट्स व्हाई नाउ वी आर बिकमिंग a diabetic capital, or we are saying now we are on the edge of stress and anxiety. ये कहाँ से आ रहे हैं? अभी हम बोल रहे हैं कि हमारे इंडिया every day those are committing suicide. ये डेटा क्यों आ रहा है, क्यों बढ़ता जा रहा है?
Recently in Kota also the 3 students committed suicide, right? They had the best resources, they had the best teachers, everything was best, still they committed suicide. Again, a question for every stakeholder in the society.
Yes, and fundamentally school education means the whole brain development. We are not here to provide only education or books knowledge. We are here as a school educationist, we are as a parent, हमारा दो बहुत important काम है, is complete brain development. That is the most basic thing you need to learn. We need to make them understand our teacher, or maybe as a director also, maybe as a parent also, कि हम क्यों कर रहे हैं. That is the reason.
I think
Yeah,
I'll
Pratima,
add
ma'am.
on to this. Seniors, the teenagers really need someone who can listen to them. Because there are nuclear families today, when we're talking about suicides and all, they don't have anybody to talk to. There's so many things that they're watching, there's so many things that they're hearing, there's so many things that it's coming to them, and they don't have anybody to talk to. So listening would make them happy, I feel. That will and also making them speak about what they are feeling. I think
They
that
don't.
will also bring out whatever is there inside them. The pressures are not the pressures are not only academic pressures. There are pressures from the peers, there are pressure from the aunts and the uncles and the society as well. So those pressures have to be curtailed, have to be, the child has to be guided, professionally or personally, and counselors have to be there to speak to them. And of course, I feel that they need that support and guidance all the time.
You have rightly pointed, Pratima ma'am. Let me give you my example also, like being the founder. and running a company is again is an ultimate challenge in the current world, in the current scenario. So when in the morning, when I open the LinkedIn, especially when I scroll just for 2 minutes, मुझे कभी कभी एनजाइटी हो जाती है, मुझे कभी कभी इतनी चैलेंज हो जाता है, मैंने कहा यार लोग इतना कुछ कर रहे हैं and where I am standing right now. So if
To be
at the
honest,
age of 35, I mean, being the founder, I've seen lot many things being done, so many workshops being done, so many things. Still, if I feel this way, I'm not that how many of you are feeling this way or have felt this way, but I do feel this way. So if I can feel this way, I'm sure a 16 or a 14 or 12-year-old child must have experiencing a lot of things, because they are on Snapchat, they are on Instagram, they are processing information like anything. They are not understanding. Definitely they are processing. They have seen a reel where a 14-year-old child is, maybe Saurabh Sharma vlog is there, and that person is earning 3 lakh rupees in one day through YouTube. So that again I put as onus on that child care what I am doing. It's
It's
just
not
one
only
aspect
about
of it.
earning, it's also about
Exactly.
they see pictures about holidays, the holidaying and spending money and all those kind of things. Facebook is actually supposed to be also a very pressure social media.
Facebook is
But
gone.
I
A
would
media
like
that
to
is
say that
exposed.
everybody is just posting their success stories on the social media. They are not talking about the failures which they are going through. So we should never not get that influenced with the success stories coming up. Yes, yet they are also going through a lot of negativities, or they are going through a lot of hardships and failures in life, and maybe those were the stepping stones, and because of that they are posting their success stories. Just one more point I would like to add after what Pratima ma'am was just sharing,
Exactly.
that we have heard that words often make your day or can break your day. So when you're talking to your children, we have to choose our word very, very wisely, because that can uplift or crush a child. This is what I have been experiencing in my tenure also, that when you talk to a child, when you connect to
Yes.
the child, they are always ready to share whatever they have inside. And we have to really promote intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is always there, that you are awarding a child, you are giving a lot of rewards, or appraiser, or achieve you appraising a child. But yes, intrinsic motivation is also there, that yes, the child is within very happy and is always ready to come and learn, or whatever you are saying. Yes, it is there. Yes, it is being acknowledged, what the teacher is saying, or what the child is saying, it is being acknowledged by the class and the teacher.
So
I'll
connecting,
also
That
like to
just
add
just a
on
second, just a second. So
1 minute
connecting.
question, just a very small
Okay,
example
please,
I'll tell you.
please, ma'am.
The other day, I was shown, CCTV camera video capture where two children, a boy and a girl, they were just standing next to the lift, and they were hugging each other.
Okay.
Okay. And the teachers were coming in and out, and they never noticed. Now I felt, it was brought to the notice of the principal, and the parents were called, the boys' parents and the girls' parents to the school. But somewhere I find and I felt that hugging is also important
Answers to
today.
others and keep creating
Actually,
such kind of
actually, yes.
negativity in our mind instead of moving ahead in life. So that is very, very important.
अरे दीप्ति
They
मैम
want to
कहाँ?
hug each other. I felt that hugging had no sexual intonation when I saw that. And I felt that, it's okay sometimes, to give them that kind of, they can hug each other. That's
Ma'am,
fine.
Yeah, and
being
by
being
doing
the
this,
Just
you
ma'am
can
being
tell
the
them that we
educator,
are there.
just a second. Ma'am, being the educator from a premium school, I'm blunt. I mean, yeah, like your school is Birla Open Minds School, I believe, right? And that's a very premium school. So might be the parents from that school, they have the ability to understand that hugging is not a bad thing. But there are a lot of other schools from the tier 1 or tier 2 cities. There, I mean, if you are touching, even you cannot sit together. Even I've
no, it
seen.
was my thought process, not the
Okay.
principal's thought process.
That's a very progressive thought process, ma'am. But nowadays things are really going into a very wrong direction, because there's a lot of students, they, because recently, I mean, you all have heard the news of Bangalore school, where they have checked the bags of the students, and they have find the contraceptive pills and what not in their bags. And they're the students of 8th, ninth standard. So a lot of things are happening across the country. We don't know. Vikas
I
sir,
don't think so. It's anything new. I'm sure Deepti and Tripti and Vandana ma'am would be saying that. Is it something new that it's been on the social media so much?
these things are going across. Chaliye, that's not that's not something that we need to discuss. Okay, Vikas sir, you have raised your hand. You wanted to add your point. Then I'll conclude. Then I'll ask some of the suggestions from the entire.
अभी आपने सोशल मीडिया का आपने जब बताया और जो बहुत ही ऑनेस्टली शेयर किया, जो सबके साथ होता है ये.
अच्छा.
The point is it's all about the mind, it's all about the brain. अगर आपको बेसिकली ब्रेन का नॉलेज होगा तो आपको ये भी पता होगा कि कैसे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड काम करता है, कैसे कॉन्शियस माइंड काम करता है.
देखिए मैं आपको और थोड़ा डिटेल में बताता हूँ, उसके बाद में आई विल टेक ये पॉइंट जो मुझे लगता है, जो दीप्ति मैम ने भी कहा कि इंट्रिंसिक मोटिवेशन. सो इंट्रिंसिक मोटिवेशन इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू अचीव. दीप्ति मैम, व्हेन वी गो एंड डिलीवर द ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम, एंड इट्स बीन दैट दिस इज माय 10th year that I'm conducting this program moreover to corporates or college, to everyone. It's very easy to say that okay, that you have to be intrinsically motivated, but it's very hard to achieve that factor. Not every day is same, not every hour is same, not every second is same. So you have to train your mind. That comes with the Vikasar point. Then if you are good at training your mind, then you can achieve it. And I'm sure जैसे वंदना मैम को अवार्ड मिला तो सबने वो अवार्ड देखा, बट वो 20 years 25 years का जो हार्ड वर्क है, वो जो पूरा ग्रिंडिंग है, वो किसी ने नहीं देखा. सो अक्रॉस द कंट्री ओनली 2 educators selected to give this award. It's a huge achievement. So I'm sure that she must have gone through that process, and all the time she's been intrinsically motivated. All time she is telling yourself कि हाँ, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this. Am I right, Vandna ma'am? Yeah.
Yes.
Vikas sir, please continue. Please continue that mind training, that aspect. I'm sure that it is.
The point is, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि that is again my opinion, जो मेरा experience अभी इन चीजों को देख के आ रहा है. अब हमें थोड़ा सा एडवांस होना पड़ेगा. Why? Like अभी मैम you said about social media, मैम also said, talk about social media, and that things are changing very dramatically, very fast, on very fast pace. तो क्या हमें एडवांस नहीं होना पड़ेगा? अब हमें अर्ली एजुकेशन के अंदर बच्चों को सबकॉन्शियस माइंड, अनकॉन्शियस माइंड, इन चीजों के बारे में बताना पड़ेगा कि कौन सा. लेट मी क्लियर वन मोर थिंग. आप लोग या मैं, सभी हम लोग हमारे मेमोरी बैंक पे तो काम कर रहे हैं. आपने ये वेबिनार लिया गुलशन सर, आज आप मॉडरेट कर रहे हैं. बाय गॉड ग्रेस इज गोइंग वेरी वेल. तो जब भी आप नया वेबिनार अनाउंस करते हैं तो वो मेमोरी बैंक आपको हिट करता है, या मेरा पिछले वाला बहुत अच्छा गया था, लेट्स इंट्रोड्यूस मोर स्पीकर्स. एम आई राइट? Somehow अगर नेगेटिव चला जाता तो आपका मेमोरी बैंक हिट है. तो हाउ टू डील विद दैट पर्टिकुलर इमोशन, दैट इज द मोर इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. तो वो बीइंग अ टीचर मुझे भी आना चाहिए, बीइंग अ पेरेंट मुझे भी आना चाहिए, और ये सब चीजें साइंटिफिक टर्म में हमें स्कूल एजुकेशन में शुरू करना पड़ेगा. वी डोंट हैव एक्चुअली एनी चॉइस. तभी तो उसके पास वो क्लैरिटी होगा. लाइक अभी अगर मैं किसी और से कॉम्प्लेक्स आ जाए, इससे अच्छा तो ये है कि मैं उससे कैसे उससे मोटिवेट हूँ. वो तब होगा जब मेरे पास ये क्लैरिटी होगी मेरी स्ट्रेंथ क्या है, मेरी वीकनेस क्या है, एम आई ऑन राइट पाथ और नॉट, ये मैं किस स्पीड में इसको अचीव करने वाला हूँ, और मेरी खुद की स्पीड क्या है. वी ऑल आर हैविंग अ सर्टेन स्पीड, लाइक परेश सर इज नो बेटर देन मी, 126 bits per second. सबके पास वो सेम ही तो है, लेकिन व्हाई यू आर गेटिंग मोर लर्निंग एंड व्हाई आई एम नॉट गेटिंग, और हमारा सबका अलग अलग क्यों हो रहा है, पैटर्न सबका अलग अलग. उसी को कैसे सबको सेम लेवल पे लेके आना है, उसके लिए ब्रेन की बेसिक नॉलेज और कैसे इसको यूटिलाइज करना है, और अपनी स्ट्रेंथ वीकनेस का पता होना बहुत जरूरी है, साइंटिफिकली, नॉट थियोरेटिकली. दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग एज पर माय ओपिनियन.
It's a wonderful bit. It's a wonderful point. Even yesterday also, you might have seen that news. The MP from Karnataka, Tejaswani Surya. Some of you might have heard that news, that he said specifically in the parliament that we should focus on money management lessons in the classroom, especially for the young students, especially for the students of 6th onwards. So they should understand the money management. So it's not about the earning money, it's about how you can manage money. So ये मनी मैनेजमेंट की जो स्किल्स हैं, ये भी आपको एकदम नहीं आएगा. यू हैव टू लर्न. सेम विद द माइंड ट्रेनिंग ऑल्सो, सेम विद योर वेव्स ऑल्सो, यू नीड टू हैव मोर अंडरस्टैंडिंग. So let me conclude this entire webinar and let me ask you some of your suggestions again one more time. So it's again a rapid fire thing. That's our topic was, let's discuss the secrets of a happy classroom. So I want everyone to give me 1 or 2 suggestions. So it's again कुछ टेक अवेज हो जाएगा टीचर्स के लिए, ठीक है. रैपिड फायर अगेन. सो 1 by 1 आई विल गो थ्रू ऑल द 8 स्पीकर्स एंड अगेन आई विल कम बैक एंड टेक 1 more सजेशन, ठीक है. सो शैल वी स्टार्ट द रैपिड फायर. आई विल गिव यू 10 seconds to prepare yourself, then I'll ask you. So you just need to give me that, okay, this is the secret, this is the secret, that's it. No, you can say the entire thing, just give me that small one liner thing. Okay, 10 seconds to everyone just to think. Then again, one by one, and I'll just speak the name. विकास सर, आपका म्यूट है. परेश सर, आपका भी म्यूट है. अच्छा, सब लोगों का म्यूट ही है अभी.
वो इसलिए म्यूट किया था, सबको डिस्टर्ब नहीं, इसलिए मैंने म्यूट
अच्छा,
रखा,
अच्छा,
लेकिन
अच्छा.
इट्स रियली इंटरेस्टिंग.
नहीं, मुझे लगा, अच्छा मुझे जो लगा ना, मुझे लगा कि यार क्वेश्चंस पूछ पूछ के ना फिर वो क्या बहुत मोनोटनस हो जाता है. एंड आई फ्रॉम नेक्स्ट टाइम ऑनवर्ड्स आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू शेयर ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. हाँ, next time onwards I'm going to make it more interactive and some rapid questions from the panelist side also, because I'm sure you guys are also having a lot of questions. So it's always better to discuss those questions on a good panel when we have speakers like Vandna ma'am, Pratima ma'am, everyone, like they have huge experience, and why not take benefit out of it, right? So again, let me start this rapid fire round first with Pratima ma'am.
Oh, I feel positive vibes and trust is the most important thing.
Okay, positive vibes and trust. Deepti ma'am.
Sir, if teachers want their students to be happy and successful, I think they should lead by example.
Lead by example. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Paresh sir.
And okay.
Understanding the children's mental wellness levels and improving it.
Okay, so understanding that level is very important. Then where that level
Understanding
lies.
the level, measuring the levels and improving it.
Fair enough. 4. Shilpa ma'am.
Yeah, I must say teachers should be smiling always. Then only they can connect with the students, and they have to increase the students' engagement.
Exactly.
Or
Smile.
involvement.
Smile is very important. Whether you know it or not, whether you're doing it or not, but at least
Correct.
have smile. Fine. Fair enough. Vandna ma'am.
Engaging the children more than involving.
Engaging more than, okay.
Where they that intrinsic motivation is there, as Deepti said. It's not forcibly that they are there in the class and they are doing the things.
Fair enough. Thank you. Tripti ma'am.
According to me, I think it's know your students and allow them to get to know you. Because when you start, mission only increases their comfort level and participation in the classroom.
So it's vice
I
versa.
think, they
Know
start
yourself
more
and
and
know
more.
your teacher. Fine. Pritam
Yes.
sir.
Do a crash course on humor before entering to the classrooms.
ये अच्छा था सर. क्रैश कोर्स ऑन ह्यूमर.
Humor.
अच्छा है, ये अच्छा है. दिस इज नॉट एवरीबडी कि हर टाइम हमें सेंस नहीं बनाना, कभी कभी बिना सेंस की बात भी कर सकते हैं.
Yes.
दैट कैन हैव. ओके, वन मोर सजेशन फ्रॉम एवरीवन. ओके, वन बाय वन. परेश सर.
Basically trying and maybe I'll make it into 2-3 sentences. Pratima said a very valid point. Future job skills are going to be way different from what they are today. So trying and analyzing children on those future job skills, which are basically behavioral skills, and some skills which are in the world of automation, some skills which are way different. Behavioral skills are primarily there, plus skills like communication skills, your critical thinking, creativity. Focus on this is very important.
So focus on those areas as well. So being more informative about the career
Absolutely.
options. Fine.
Because it's going to be an automotive world tomorrow.
Fine. Vandna ma'am.
Another one.
Yes, another one.
I think gratitude and meditation exercises once a while, very important with the students.
Gratitude. Very fine point. We are not gratitude. Okay. Vikaas sir.
Know your brain, know yourself. That is
Know your brain. Publicity भी जरूरी है. Know.
बिल्कुल सर.
Pritam sir.
Ignorance sometimes help with the children.
अच्छा point sir. Ignorance is the bliss.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes with children like me, a student like me will definitely helps the teacher, even to me as a person.
ये अच्छा पॉइंट बताया आपने कि इग्नोरेंस कभी कभी टीचर के लिए भी अच्छा है. प्रतिमा मैम.
We are all talking about individuality and equality, but sometimes when we understand ignorance for that particular child, बहुत important होता है class.
Exactly. Yeah, Pratima ma'am.
So I would say freedom to learn and giving them space.
Space is required. Fine. Shilpa ma'am.
Yeah, I can say there should be a communication link between you and your student should be established, like till 100% communication link. So for that, you can use some strategies like singing songs sometimes, or mnemonic techniques, or using audio visuals or word linking methods.
So you define
That
your
will be
techniques, but at least communication is the
yeah,
link is
according
required.
to case. Like some students are good in songs, so we
Exactly.
can use
Exactly.
songs for them. So
Exactly.
word linking techniques can be helpful.
Great. Dipti ma'am.
I believe that if we can establish some rules and norms together as a class, and if we can celebrate success together with children, teachers, and all the other students together, that makes the environment happy, children happy. It's that.
So there are some set of rules. कि भाई ये तो रहेगा रहेगा. Then
Yes.
beyond that we can do a lot of
Because
things.
we generally set rules in our classes, and they are all being set by the children only. So again, I would like to say that teachers are not dictators, they are just the facilitators, and they are just helping and guiding students. So students are coming up and having a student led classes and student led
If this
sessions.
would have been 1990s, then the dictator term would have been used. But now the scenario has been totally changed.
Yes, changed.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Yeah, last point. Tripti ma'am.
See, nothing can be achieved without a aim in life. So I think along with this creating the happy environment in the classroom, I think we should teach our students to develop and establish smart goals for them. Smart goals, I mean to say, that are specific, that are measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely achieved. So that should always be
And
there.
we should help them to frame that smart goals. So
Yes, of
teachers,
course.
again, one more responsibility for the teachers.
Yes.
Shall
It's not responsibility, is because children are coming to us to learn something, right? So we are making them learn to develop and some establish some goals in their life so that they can work towards it and they can achieve it. So otherwise they will just go haywire here and there. So something should be there in their life which they have to stick to and they have to achieve it. So I
Thank you.
think that is very important.
Thank you.
Direction is very important. So one direction should always be there.
It's wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, everyone. It's again one a wonderful evening that we had, and it's great to discuss this wonderful topic with everyone. And I'm sure all our listeners must have enriched themselves by listening to all the ideas which we have discussed in the past 60 to 70 minutes. So again, thank you everyone to being the part of this initiative. We are committed to bring more panelists and to discuss on different topics. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
So,
Gulshan.
so now that this formally that we have done the webinar, now again this 2 to 3 minutes. And then if you want to share anything with any of the speaker, then you can. And
I was observing one critical observation that I had across. And everybody, when you said that 10 seconds of rapid fire question, everybody came back with their backgrounds, with their experiences. Like I come from the professional world, 27 years of professional world. I put in thought processes which are more relevant as per my experiences in my. So Vikaas ji, based on his experience, Pratima ma'am, Vandana ma'am, everybody put in their experiences behind it and put it across. That basically give you a very multiple, sort of, it's a good bouquet of multiple things that you brought across out of it.
That is the already beauty of Indians, and obviously this webinar also. यही तो हमारे खूबी है, diversify.
See, this is how I think Gulshan has created a happy environment in this webinar session also through this webinar.
अच्छा मुझे अभी तक का या मुझे लगता है कि
I would like to say that let's all praise Gulshan also for a nice moderator who has binded us all.
Yeah, clap for him. Give him big hands.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Gulshan, sir.
Thank you so much.